Hi guys, so here we are on part 3, still on the back of my boat in the glorious sunshine, and in part 1 we covered the controller for your automatic watering system, and in part 2 we covered the large hose size, the distribution hose, how we attach it to the meter, and some hints and tips on how it should be attached and the fact that it needs to be removable and so on. And now we're going to get to the business end, the water delivery end. But just before we do that, as I said at the end of the last video, these delivery hose, these transport hoses, the ones that transport the water and the bulk of the water around the garden, they obviously need some way of being terminated. Once you've laid one down on a long stretch, it's got to have its end closed off so as the pressure can build in here and come out of the places where you want to terminate the water supply at your vegetables. Now, the people who make this stuff, Hose-Lock, and there are other systems, but I tend to use Hose-Lock for reasons that I've already explained in other videos. They supply all sorts of fancy ways of blocking this off. Here's one. It's a double ring, if you can see that, and you simply slide that over there, like that. You then bend your hose over, and you slide the other end, the other hole, in the second hole, and that holds that kinked over, so obviously water can't come out. They cost money, not surprisingly, and to be honest, they do drip, some of these systems. I personally don't want to waste money if I don't have to, so I've found a much cheaper way of doing that. So if I take the other end to demonstrate, I just fold it over like that, hold it down with my thumb, I get myself a piece of gaffer tape or duct tape. I'm using white because it shows up better, but you know, if you want to keep it subdued, then obviously you can buy this in black, you can buy in all sorts of colours. We call it gaffer tape. I think you guys in America call it duct tape. Very sticky, webbed, reinforced tape, and just bind it around the end, and that does a perfect job. And in black, it doesn't show any worse than that device that I've obviously undone there. So, and that's a lot cheaper than using their special devices. Okay, so that's how I seal the end of mine. I don't waste my money on that kind of thing, but you can if you want to. So now let's really get to the business end. And the suppliers of this stuff have all sorts of different small delivery devices that send the water out to your plants. Some of them are sprayers. I've got a sprayer here that you can screw either into the main body of this large diameter tubing, or they also have sprayers that will terminate at the end of the thin diameter tubing, so as you can run them between flowers and place them exactly where you want. For vegetable gardening, I don't use sprayers at all. The reason being is you want water delivered to the exact point of the vegetable, right at the base of the stem, right on the roots. You don't have a carpet, very rarely, unless you're growing herbs maybe, you don't have a carpet of small vegetable plants. I suppose a row of radishes might be an exception, but then again, you wouldn't really be growing those in a container, those kind of things. And if you did, you would grow them in a circular form in the top of the container, and still a single point delivery would be fine to moisten the container. So sprays are really for gardeners who garden with flowers and they have a big bed of display and they want to spray right over and make the whole of the soil moist. We're not looking at that, we're looking at individual delivery. And so the devices that they supply for individual delivery, that is a terminal device. If you can see there, the water comes out of that end, and that end fits on your small hose, the little barb, if you can see that, and the water comes along your main pipe. The main pipe is connected to the smaller one, comes down here and it drips out. Hopefully that is then pointing at the root of your vegetable. Okay, the other type is in line, so you can see that's got, the water comes out of here, and you can see that that's got two connectors, so you can use these as this tube is going along. So if you've got a row of 3, I don't know, cabbages, say, in a long container, you have one of these at each of the first 2 cabbages, okay, connected like that, and then the end cabbage would be watered with a terminal one. Yeah? Okay, so how do we put this kind of thing together? Right, they conveniently, the suppliers of this material, supply you with a little device that allows you to poke holes in the large tube. So we poke a hole in the large tube, thus, and now they also supply you with connectors to connect from the large tube to the small tube, and they have a screw thread on them, and all you do is push the end with the screw thread in and start to turn it, and the screw thread will take and will start to screw in to the large tube. Okay, the device that they supply you with has a spanner on it that will fit on this hexagonal moulding on the connection, and so you can place that on there and you can turn it and tighten it right down. I'm going to do it with my fingers. You need to tighten it right down, and you will feel it bite, you will feel it come to the end of its travel, and there you have it. That is your connector on your large tube. Then you need to put your small tube, cut it to the right length, obviously, determine where you want it to deliver its water. So this is running down your path, your container with your vegetables is here, so you measure your distance that you want, and then you've got to get that on there, and that isn't easy. That really is quite difficult to get that on there. So my tip is I just chew it. If I chew the end of this, and my back teeth give it a good chew, it softens the plastic of this tube by chewing it. It doesn't puncture it, teeth aren't sharp enough. I'll just chew it. Okay, you've got a good chew, and it also moistens it as well. And now you'll find that that will slip on there really easily. Okay, so that's a great tip for getting that on there. Don't chew used tube that's been lying around in horse manure. Use your common sense, obviously, but if it's nice clean tube, just put it to the back of your mouth into your molars, give it a good chew, and it will slide on perfectly. Okay, and the same then with your delivery. Let's say you're going to have a terminal pipe here, so you've just got a single vegetable, so it's a courgette plant. This is a zucchini plant, as you guys in America say. Here's your main delivery coming past your container. This is then going to go into your container, and it's going to deliver the water via one of these dripper nozzles. So again, chew it. There's a good old chew, and that should pop on there nice and easily. There you go. So you've now got your system. This end is going off to the tap. The water's coming down here. It's being stopped from just pouring out the end because you've bent it over and gaffer taped or duct taped it up. So it's got to come out of here, and that will then sit nicely place it nicely at the root of your base of the stem of your vegetable, and you can then adjust the tap once you've set this whole thing up so that you've got all of these sitting at the base of your vegetables, then you can adjust your tap, put it into the on position, put your controller into the permanently on position. They've all got a permanent on position. And then just keep adjusting your tap, bearing in mind you put Jubilee clips on all of the major connectors for your main delivery pipe, so they don't pop off. Adjust your tap with the pressure until you get every single one of these dripping out water at a constant, decent rate, a rate that you just use your common sense. You say, yeah, well, I reckon if that's running like that for 45 minutes, that's going to give them a good water, especially as it's twice a day. And that's your system set up. Put the timer then back to your 6 AM to 6 PM or whatever times twice a day that you've decided to set it for. And there you have your automatic watering system. Couple more things before we finish. To make it tidy, these guys supply you with fasteners here to staples to be able to staple this small pipe to anything that you might have, wooden containers that you can staple them to, or you're running them around walls of the house, or you might even want to just stick them into your patio. Just knock the nails in. These are masonry nails, oboe nails. I find they're pretty hard. They go into pretty much anything. Very successful way of, but they're expensive. If you can do away with it, don't bother. They also do this in the large size, so you can control more easily where you have your runners. You can clip that to the wall as well, where you have your main water supply. Lastly, often you want to try and direction this as best you can onto the root of the plant. It goes everywhere. This pipe's a bit stiff, and so you want to try and direction this as best you can. They make these are actually for supporting the main pipe, which you can buy them for and use them for if you're going across soil or the lawn or something where these things won't work. Then you clip these onto here and you push them into your soil, and so that makes your pipe go in whatever direction you want it to. They also serve another purpose which Hoselock don't sell them for and possibly didn't think of, but I have, and that is you can use these to position your nozzles, because fortunately, I don't know whether that's luck or whether Hoselock thought about it, these fit exactly in that cup that takes the pipe. So now you've got a way of positioning your nozzle exactly where you want, because you can stick that in the soil right by the root of your vegetable and make sure that the delivery is exactly where you want it to go. Okay, so that's my hints and tips on automatic watering systems. I hope it's been of use to you, and also if you go to my blog at www.my-container-vegetable-gardening.com, the URL is down there, you will see a review of all this stuff, all the timers, and there will be an opportunity for you to click on links that will take you to places that you might want to purchase any of what I've spoken about, make life easy for you. Okay, so thanks for watching. Until the next time, goodbye.